Hi everyone, I'm TrishAnn WIlliams. It's my brother James,
Hello.
and we are back for another book review. And we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. My brother's going to do his review, and then I have a question for the room, and feel free to participate. And then I'm going to do my reviews. So James, tell us
All
what
right.
you read.
So I am gonna finish this one either tonight or tomorrow. It's called Dreadful. I think I talked about last time for my to be read list. And so yeah, it's a really really cute book. I'm really enjoying it. There's nothing scary at all. It's a funny book, and I think I may have talked about it last time. But guy
It
wakes,
doesn't look like a funny book.
but it is. But it is, and it's just a take on all the fantasy tropes. Wakes up in a dungeon throne room. It's like, well, nothing good can happen with this. I must just be waiting for the dread wizard, whoever it is, and goblins start coming in and bowing to him, and he realizes he is the Lord Dread, whoever wizard, and he's like, but I don't know how to be mean. What do you mean I have a princess trapped in my dungeon? Why would I do that? So this is the story of him trying to become good and let all his villagers and all his
Oh,
goblin servants, they're all scared of him, and he's like, but I'm not really bad. I'm not bad anymore. Okay.
that's funny.
It's a really cute book.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so now here's my question for everyone. I'm going to ask it to James, but think about it too as we're asking. So, James, what do you look for in a summer read? What is your idea of a summer read?
Something distracting, something not depressing, not serious. For me personally, like, I'm not going to read a nonfiction book unless it's maybe a biography of somebody that's kind of funny. But I mean, there's plenty of them. Beach reads. Emily Henry, that would be a typical response. For me, I might try to do it like that Dreadful that I just reviewed. It's a fun thing. I
Makes
don't
you
have to
feel
really
good.
think about it. Yeah, that's the definition of a summer read for me.
Okay.
What about you?
So, for me, I was just on vacation and I
Yes, you were.
I
Your
I
stack of
was.
books.
I got my stack of books. I read a bunch of books that I thought would be summer reads. And I thought about it a lot as I was reading my books as to how it made me feel. I am in agreement with you. I want a summer read to be, and I've learned a lot about this week because I was thinking about it as I was reading. But I want my summer read to be distracting and fun and uplifting and feel good. And I think, and I don't know because none of my books fell into this category, but I think I would even be okay if it's pretty shallow. Like as long as it's fun, I don't think I need a lot of depth. Nothing that I read was like that, but that's what I think. And I'll let you know as I'm going forward. So I'm going to start with what I read and I'm going to tell you kind of how I thought about them as a summary because I think I was misled in some of the things that I picked up.
Hopefully not one I recommended.
And one of the things that I think is interesting too is that, and I never paid attention before, but a lot of authors put out their annual summer read book, like the Emily Henrys and Susan Mallory, and they kind of have a tradition of releasing their summer book. And so I downloaded a lot of this. So I'm going to start with the two books that I told you that I was going to read. The first one, Susan Mallory's book, The Summer Getaway, that's not her book this year. That one came out in 2022. I didn't know it. I thought it was her new book. I have downloaded that one. I'll read it and I'll let you know. But The Summer Getaway, unlike its title, is kind of heavy. It's not very uplifting. It's not a bad book. It's fine. But a woman, she takes a trip to California and her kids all follow her there, and there's a lot of turmoil and there's a lot of family issues that are worked out. And I thought it was fine, but it wasn't fun. Um, the second one that I told you that I was going to read that I read was Summers at the Saint by Mary Kay Andrews. I didn't hate this book either. But look, it looks like it's going to be a fun beach read, right? This looks like a romance novel. It looks like it's going to be all, but it's not. It's a murder mystery. I feel like I was a little bit misled. I didn't hate the book. I thought it was fine. But it's darker than what I wanted, and I feel like I was a little bit misled. I liked it. It's about a beach resort, and the lady who runs it, but then a murder happens and there's mystery and there's history and there's a lot of characters and a lot of things happen, and it took a lot more of my attention than I wanted it to, and it was heavy. It felt heavy when I put it down. I didn't hate it. I liked it. It's not a beach read for me. So the third book that I read, and this was at the recommendation of my brother last time, if you remember, this is Just for Summer. I think a lot of people will think this is a beach read. I loved it so much. Let me just start by saying I loved it so much. It was emotional. I loved the characters. I got really involved with it. I thought it was a great story. I don't know that it was a beach read because I will tell you this. I literally was sitting on the beach in my chair crying. And I was like, I'm not sure this is the image I want to project. I laughed. I cried. It's the little blurb for it is, it's supposed to be a quick fling just for the summer, but when Emma's toxic mother shows up and Justin has to assume guardianship of his 3 siblings, they're suddenly navigating a lot more than they expected, including catching real feelings for each other. So it's kind of like a lot of her books. They're doing an experiment. They've each think they have a curse on their love lives, and then they get together. Now, they kind of stay together the whole time. So there's not a whole lot of, oh my God, are they going to stay together or not? And some people didn't like that. I did. I was totally invested in both of them. I really loved it. I thought it was heavy for a beach read for me because, again, I cried. So then when I went through all of that, that's all the books I was going to read. I thought, well, what is my beach read then? If I haven't found it, if I've read all these books, and I actually read a couple of others that I'm not talking about right now, what is my beach read? That's what I wanted to know. So here it is. I found it. This is my beach read. Christina Lauren.
Anything by her.
The Paradise Problem.
Any book by Christina Lauren would be a good one.
It's so, some people won't like it. I loved it. The little blurb is Anna Green and Liam Weston, a delicious new romance between the buttoned-up heir of a grocery store chain and his free-spirited artist ex as they fake their relationship in order to receive a massive inheritance. It's easy to read. It's fun. It's witty. I loved the characters. It's in a tropical island. It's extravagance and richness and luxury, and this is my beach read. So if anybody wants to know what I read, it's this. It was an easy read. It was fun. I felt great when I put it down. I loved it.
So you had 5 days and you read 5 books.
I read so much. I read so much. But it's funny that you say that because I was thinking about it when I was reading, because I was reading so much. So I'm used to, like, I'll fill my library up and I'll just pick up whatever book I feel like reading and I'll read it. And if I don't like it, I kind of just, erase it and I don't think very much about it. And if I do like it, if I like it a lot, I'll save it because I know I might want to go back and read it. And what I've been thinking is, since we've been doing these reviews, I'm reading my book and I'm thinking as I'm reading, what do I like about this? What's happening? How am I feeling? And I'm not used to doing that. And so reading when it's just one book, it's kind of easy because you can think about it a lot. But when I was reading them so fast and I'm trying to remember and think, okay, what is it that I like? And then I'll kind of read the whole thing and then just kind of put a little summary in my head of what did I like? And then I was kind of keeping on my own theme.
Do you take notes at all, or just?
I do, but it's typically after. And I didn't take notes on vacation. So I had to kind of come home and re-get the book out a little bit and just kind of write my thoughts down.
I'll be honest with you. I'm considering starting to do that.
I know.
Only because, not just because I'm getting older, my memory's getting bad, but, if I read a book too fast, if I read like 3/4 of a book in one night, I will forget what's happened previously in that same book, and I'll start to get it, mixed up in there. So I'm considering taking the notes.
No, totally.
But that's why I like to kind of spread it out over several days.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I'm like you. I read really fast, and I do not like you because you don't do that.
Right.
But if I'm bored with it, I'll just skip to what I think is interesting.
Right.
Or if it's a particularly detailed description of something of it, unless it's something I like. If you're describing a Chanel dress, I'll read all of that. But if you're describing, a wartime, I don't know, whatever, something that's really detailed, I'll skip that. So a lot of times for me, my reviews are just in general, like my feeling about it. Did I get involved? Did I get invested? And I'm trying to do a better job of like taking real notes and, just kind of giving something that I think people who are watching this would want to know, and not just kind of my.
An example of that, and I know we're getting low on time, but my example of that, Christopher Paolini, who wrote the Aragon series for teens, wrote his first adult book, and it was a first contact book, and it's like 500 pages. About 100 pages right smack in the middle are one space battle.
Oh,
and I get it that he's trying to differentiate whatever alien technology from our technology, all this kind of stuff, but it really could have cut that to about 5 pages instead of 100 pages. It was a big one. Great book. That's Christopher Paolini, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, if you're interested. Okay. All right.
Okay. So what we're reading next? Do you want to go first since you're going first?
And I'm not entirely sure. I just picked this one because it's really. I will read it. I'm not sure if it's going to be next. I'm getting kind of tired of the fantasy-ish, otherworldly stuff, so I might do something else. But this one is called The Measure. So one random day, every human being on the planet opens their front door and there's a box, and in that box is the exact day that they're going to die.
Oh my.
And this is the story of 5 people or so who, what are you going to do with that knowledge? Are you going to die in 2 days? What do you do? Are you going to die in 10 years? What do you do with that 10 years? So
it scares me a little bit.
It scares me a little bit too.
I think it'd be really interesting.
If it starts to make me anxious, I will stop reading it. I'm just saying.
That sounds like a good plan. That sounds like
that's my next.
Okay. And I have already started my next, but I'm not very far into it. But I'm doing Nora Roberts' new book. It's called Mind Games. I needed a break from the beach read. It was really stressful for me. And I found my perfect one. So this is a little bit of a suspenseful novel. She's got some kind of what's it called when you can read the future?
Clairvoyance.
But I'm not there yet. But it flows good. I love the way she writes. So that's what I'm reading now.
Excellent.
Great.
Just before we go, your book?
Yeah. So I have an update. I got the. Did y'all get it? Okay, well, I'll just hold on. I got the notice from my publisher that the book is in production. The print copies are in production. I can buy my copies. And apparently in the next week or two, it's going to be available for pre-sale at barnesandnoble.com or amazon.com.
I'm going to look it up as soon as we finish.
Two Crimson Smiles, TrishAnn WIlliams. It's coming out officially in August 12th, but that pre-sale should be coming up here in the next couple weeks. And I'm going to order my copy, so I'll bring one, and maybe we'll do a little bit of excerpts, and we can talk about it a little bit more. So it's getting here. It's happening right now.
That's getting close.
So thanks, guys. And I think next week we may have Logan back, and he's going to do another review for us.
Looking forward to that. That's always good.
All right. See ya.
Okay, bye.